Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85 back today with my newest video, doing another figure review. And today, this one was a figure review that I was actually really anticipating and looking forward to. And obviously, jumping right into it, of course, I'm reviewing none other than my Bandai Titanosaurus. Oh yes, I happen to actually really like Titanosaurus as a kaiju. I think he's pretty damn awesome. I know he's kind of hit and miss for fans. Some people really like him, some people don't. No, not so much anyways, and kind of find his roar a little bit annoying. His roar it's not too, it doesn't bother me too much, honestly. And I just happen to really like him anyway. So I know that there have been numerous reviews done on the Bandai Titanosaurus figure, just as with my last figure review with the Gabbera figure. However, I still just wanted to go ahead and give my own personal take on him. So, like I said, so I was definitely really looking forward to this. Titanosaurus, he's basically like an undersea dinosaur, if you will. That's how he was kind of referred to in the film. Basically his one and only film appearance was from 1975's Terror of MechaGodzilla, which of course was the last of the Showa era Godzilla films. So essentially he was the last Showa era kaiju to actually appear. So that's definitely a notable reference mark for him. His like only other appearance, if you even really count it, was I believe in Godzilla Final Wars. He had sort of a stock footage cameo at the beginning of the film when they were sort of doing that montage about different monsters, etc., etc. So you did see him briefly there, but that was about it. So don't know that really counts for anything, but like I said, his true film appearance was from Terror of MechaGodzilla. So like I said, so he was a dinosaur discovered by Dr. Mifune, and he was doing some weird experimentations, and obviously the other scientists kind of shunned him, and he basically lost his job and was kicked out from the scientific community over the whole over all these happenings. So he was pretty much very hateful and resentful against mankind. So he wanted to exact his revenge, and he ended up essentially allying with the third planet from the black hole aliens, of course from the previous film, Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, as they ended up recovering the remains of MechaGodzilla after Godzilla destroyed it and rebuilt MechaGodzilla into what they called MechaGodzilla 2. So Dr. Mifune ended up teaming up with them. They basically saved his daughter's life after she I don't know, some kind of weird event happened when she was helping Dr. Mifune in the lab with an experiment. She got like shocked or something, and then they had to basically open her up and essentially put like cyborg parts in her to revive her. It was kind of strange. So his daughter Tetsura was a sort of like a cyborg at that point, android, if you will. But he was of course grateful for them saving her life, and so agreed, of course, to help them. So essentially now you have MechaGodzilla and Titanosaurus teaming up. And they're obviously bent on taking over the Earth, and of course start in Tokyo. And of course Godzilla shows up to try and stop them. And what was sort of unique with this battle was the fact that Godzilla was on his own this time against two kaiju. So that was definitely a very unique take that they did with that. So I kind of would have liked him to see him team up. Maybe, well, you could say maybe King Caesar, who he teamed up with in the last film, or Anguirus, or another kaiju. But definitely was very cool to actually see him solo have to take on two other kaiju like that. So definitely pretty impressive on Godzilla's part. But the humans did help him out, especially once they found out that Titanosaurus had a weakness against supersonic waves, and they developed a weapon to sort of to injure Titanosaurus, if you will, and then that allowed Godzilla to gain the upper hand. So that's sort of with the whole rundown of his backstory, essentially, and of course the backstory of that film, the premise of it. So on to this figure itself, this Bandai figure of Titanosaurus. This is actually quite a rare figure. It was rare years ago, and now it's even more rare. So this is definitely not going to be one that's easy to come by and affordable, obviously. But you know, definitely one that I consider great to have in the collection. And when I did get this figure, I actually did get it with the tag. So I do have that tag here, which I'm going to include, obviously. And so you can see on the front that it's got Titanosaurus on there. With, I guess that's the movie info, Terror of MechaGodzilla, or at least I'm assuming so. With, you know, Titanosaurus showcased, obviously, and cool silhouette of Godzilla there. And of course, you got that logo there, the Bandai logo, and of course, you got more products from Bandai on the inside. Very, very cool. And then some more information in the back in Japanese. I wish I could read it. Unfortunately, I can't. But very, very awesome. So I was really glad. Not a lot of the ones that you will find online, not many of them actually will include the tag. So I was very fortunate that I was able to get this. I got this figure years ago. So and I didn't pay a whole lot for it. Not nearly as much as it is now. So I kind of really jumped on it at the right time. But the thing was, when I saw it on eBay, I knew I had to have it because I really liked Titanosaurus a lot, and I wanted a figure of him. So anyway, so we'll kind of put that there to the side and just showcase it in the video. Other than that, though, let's go ahead and get on to the figure itself. We start with the paint job. So Titanosaurus has like sort of this reddish skin that you can kind of see all around his body here. And it's very, very nicely done. I think they really did a good job with this, Bandai did. Because you can see, too, it's not just plain red. It's like red blended in with like an orange and a yellow, you know, sort of these sort of highlights around his body, these orangish and yellowish highlights that he's got. So you can kind of see that. Very, very awesome. I really, really like this a lot. And, you know, so that I think is very, very cool. They got sort of that orangish, almost like a metallic orange for the fins. You can see the fin on the tail there because they have it in that opened up pose, like when he's doing his hurricane wind attack that he's got. So that's pretty cool because he can open it and close it. But it's cool that they have it open. And then, of course, like I said, the fin on his back has that metallic orange, and then up his on his neck and up onto the back of his head with that fin there. And then of course he's got the orange color for the horns there, and then you got those sort of ear fins that he's got on the side of his head. Very, very cool. They really got the look down well here. You can see the blending again of that orange and yellow with the face, with the red on the face. They got the black for the bumps all over his body, highlighting them quite well. I really like that. They've got on the underside, on front of his neck, and of course down his chest and stomach, and even on the side of his legs, they have this sort of orange, or not orange, almost like a goldish color paint as well. And that goes down into his tail, as you can see there, the underside of his tail. Very, very cool. I really, really like that. And then, of course, you got the sort of off-white color for the claws, or the finger claws and the toe claws. So hopefully you guys can see that. And, of course, again, that off-white color for the teeth there. Very cool. And inside the mouth, a little bit dusty, but again, I've had this figure a while, but you can see sort of that reddish color in the inside of the mouth for the roof of the mouth and for the tongue and what have you. So you guys can kind of see that. And then, of course, the eyes have that sort of yellowish, orangish color with the black pupils there. Very almost serpent-like pupil that he's got. I'm trying to see if I can focus the camera for you guys so that you can see that. You can kind of see it there, though. looks really awesome. Like I said, very, very what I would say is pretty darn movie accurate. Anyway, at least in my opinion. So that about covers it for the paint, and of course, we'll go ahead and use that to segue into the detail, though. So again, with those bumps that they see, and you can really feel the texturing that they got the bumps all around his body here. If you can definitely feel them there. They actually did a really nice job sculpting that, so that you can really feel the texturing on the bumps. They did the scaling quite well on the fins here, as you can see. Again, this one in that opened up pose where he's doing the hurricane wind, so that's why it's kind of got that flapping sort of motion to it as well on the end of the tail, that fin there. And then, like I said, with the scaling and whatnot, almost sort of membrane look to it. I think it happens to be really awesome. Again, the scaling on the fins on the back and the neck go up into the head, and then of course those ear fins that he's got there, and then the horns, which have some segmentation on them, so they're not just plain looking. They actually do have some detail on them. I'm trying to see if you guys can see that in the view there, so you can almost kind of see that. And then, like I said, on the inside of the mouth with the teeth and the roof of the mouth and the tongue. Excuse me, pretty nicely done. Teeth not really protruding, the more sort of sculpted onto the side of the mouth. But at least, though, included to do enough for the effect, basically. And then, like I said, the detailing with the eyes, getting that sort of serpent-like pupils, those serpent-like pupils that he had. Like I said, you got the claws, finger claws and toe claws. You got the front of his neck, and then down from his, chest and abdomen, on the side of his legs and his tail, that scaly body that he's got. Again, he's an underwater dinosaur, and sort of too with his roar. It's almost got like that, almost sort of like horse-ish roar, I guess you would kind of say. But in a way, he does almost look like a sort of seahorse, So, so I guess in a way that's kind of fitting. I know a seahorse is not the same as a regular horse, but still, though, it's just kind of cool the way that they did that. So I like it. But anyways, though, they on the figure here, they really captured the scaling pretty darn well, I think, even, like I said, including it on the inner thighs there. So got them pretty strong looking thighs, does Titanosaurus. Obviously the Bandai information on the bottom of the feet there, so you guys can see with the copyright 1975 and what have you. So very, very excellent, very awesome detail work on this. I really love this figure. And so that about covers it for the paint and detail. So the one other thing that I like to cover is if there's any articulation, which on him there are several points of articulation, pretty darn good for a Bandai figure. We'll start the head. Can rotate, and you can do, if you like, the 360 rotation. Yep, definitely doing the Exorcist thing there. The arms can both rotate 360. The only thing is, and obviously numerous other YouTubers have mentioned this, that the legs do get in the way a bit, so you kind of have to shuffle the arms a bit in order to get them to rotate 360, but they can do so. The legs also, same deal. They can rotate 360. You just have to have the arms positioned so that that they're not really rubbing against them to impede them from rotating, but you can rotate them 360. And then one other point of articulation, which didn't even click to me at first until I just double-checked with another review on it before I did mine, but the tail actually can rotate, and this can go a full 360 as well. So it's not the easiest to move. I don't know if I would really recommend it. Maybe a little swiveling would be better, but it can go 360. I would just, if I were you, be a little bit mindful of trying to do so with it. I recently did pick up the Bandai 1975 Godzilla. I was very, very excited about that. Again, a very rare figure. And this was not the memorial box one, which has that sort of off greenish color for Godzilla. It's more of the traditional, charcoalish color that he's got with some of the green highlights. So I was very, very happy to be able to get a hold of that one. I'm definitely going to review it in the future. But not going to bring him out right now, though. We'll save him for a later date. Because like I said, I don't usually do too much with sizing. But nonetheless, though, this actually, Titanosaurus, so I will say, he is a bit taller than some of your normal 6-inch figures. So like other Showa monsters, he actually does size in pretty well with. Maybe not 100%, maybe not as tall as he could be, but pretty darn well. Definitely serves the purpose. Like I said, you can find him online on eBay and whatnot. That's where I got mine. I got mine years ago, so I did get it for less than 100. I think it was even maybe less than 50 when I got mine, but nowadays, that you'd be really, if you see one for that price, I would say you better get it, no questions asked, because most of these are well over $100, maybe even over 200. Because this is a very rare figure, and especially so if you try to get one that includes the tag with it. But I definitely recommend this if you're in the market for it. I think Bandai did a fantastic job with this figure. Makes a great addition to anybody's collection. Titanosaurus is an awesome kaiju, at least in my opinion anyway. And I really like Terror of MechaGodzilla as a film. So, like I said, definitely recommend it. But nonetheless, though, folks, I think that pretty much does cover it for this video. But I definitely would like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.